Hi everyone, my name is Madison. I am here just starting my podcast for the first time. I have my wonderful producer, Steven, aka Barnetti.
Hello.
Check him out on all social platforms. He produces really good.
Let's not start off with a plug.
It's easier sometimes. As I'm here to start a podcast about myself, I enjoy talking about other people a little better.
I appreciate it.
It's easier. But anyway, welcome to the first episode of the Help Me Mom podcast. This podcast, it's going to go in a lot of different directions. And we're okay with that because it's been probably, Steven? I've known you for 2 years?
Yeah, I think probably about 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years, and it was only maybe 6 months ago I even remotely told you I wanted to start a podcast, and I only told you because I was in a drunken fit from Bachelor Wine Night. And I think that's probably the first time I mentioned it, right?
That's how all good stories start.
I mean, yeah, at least all my good stories. But I have been wanting to start a podcast for at least 3 years. I mean, I went to Cronkite for broadcast journalism. I wanted to be Hoda and I still want to be Hoda and Kathy Lee on the Today Show. And I've been wanting this so long that Kathy Lee's not even on the Today Show anymore. It's Hoda and Jenna. But I went to school for broadcast journalism. I hated broadcast. Well, I liked broadcast journalism, but I didn't like my journalism classes. So I switched over. But here I am 3 years later. It's taken me this long to start a podcast, and we're finally starting it. Steven was nice enough to offer up his in-house studio for me because when I was going to start, I had a single little microphone on my MacBook laptop that had it going on all cylinders, and you could hear the laptop in the background. So
just whirring away?
Yeah, pretty much. It was bad, but I tried and I failed. But now here we are trying again. Isn't that what life's all about?
So you got to start somewhere.
That's right. So anyway, back to myself. Like I said, been wanting to start this for 3 years. I am just your very standard 24, almost 25. That's terrifying. Almost 25-year-old who...
She's a boomer.
I feel like it sometimes. Just wait till I... some of these stories. I'm disappointed in myself and how I react, but it's all good. I guess we all have to get old sometime. But yeah, I'm just trying to find my way through life. I went to college and did school. I did a few corporate jobs starting out. I am pretty heavy in advance. Oh my gosh. I'm pretty heavy in event planning. But after the pandemic, I had lost my job. So now here I am being a 24, almost 25-year-old working at a golf course full-time and a flower shop part-time. The flower shop part is really fun. And the golf course is fun too, but it's kind of embarrassing and uncomfortable when you're working alongside of 20 to 21-year-olds all the time who just want to have fun and party. And everyone at the golf course, they can't figure out how old I am because when they talk to me, they're like, oh, clearly you're older, but you're acting like a 20-year-old. So it's turned into an occupational hazard, and it's embarrassing. So I think this podcast is a good time. I think it's a good time now to be starting the podcast. I feel very confused in life, and I want it to, at this point, just serve as my audio diary, if you will. I just kind of need to talk through the things that happen in my everyday life. It's good to reflect and grow from those, and who knows, maybe someone else can relate to these, because at the very end of the day, you can be assured that I am not trying to be something that I'm not. I don't think I'm even capable of doing that. So here we are. And welcome to Help Me Mom, the podcast. We'll see if this makes it into the final edit, but I started applying to a job because, you get in those waves of anxiety where you're like, what am I doing with my life? Why am I working all these jobs? Why do I work at a golf course at 24? So that, along with other things and just the impending what do I do with my life question prompted me to go apply to a job. It was the first job that I applied to. And then, well, not to diverge, but I also applied to it because, audience, I am very into astrology. I know Steven loves astrology. Me and Steven are even the same sign, and these are just the two opposite ends of the spectrum. We'll get more into it on another day, but it's not so much related to astrology, but your 25th year, you were born in 97, right?
Yeah.
And then Anna Marie was born in 97. I should have pulled up the graphic. I wasn't going to mention it, but I have to bring it up. When we're all in the 25th year, so the way in which we were born, whatever, the house that we're in this year is the house of wealth. So this year is supposedly supposed to be like the big financial year, the year that all of us are thinking about money and making moves. Wow. And look, see, I'm seeing Anna Marie's shifty eyes.
I mean,
yeah.
I
Hey,
would like some more money.
Steven, more money.
I am opposed to more money.
Yeah, Steven hates money. Steven lives off the ground. I'm happy for you.
Decided to forego all materialistic things. And,
wow. Steven, believe it or not, that's very Aquarius of you.
Oh, wow. What a coincidence.
Yeah, you're stuck. Everything can come back to it. I can make a circle. But anyway, yeah, being 25 this year, all of it is focused on like financial. And, I see a lot of TikToks, so obviously it's legit information. Clearly, it's not the algorithm, just finding content that I enjoy. So I applied to this job. And poor Winslow. All right, we got Winslow in the house, the fabulous podcasting doggy who's going to be super quiet. Yes, you are. He's so cute. I can't handle it. But anyway, long story short, I had this job interview and it went very well. I spent my entire shift at the golf course stressed out about negotiating. I have honestly negotiated once in my life, and it was for my job, my last job that I had, and I negotiated. I wanted $3,000 more than the salary, and in the moment you think that's such a big deal, and then I broke it down. I was like, oh, I was literally asking for maybe $5-10 extra dollars. It's probably more than that every paycheck. It was nothing. So I kept practicing for the salary negotiation, because they haven't told me what the salary range is for it. I checked it on Glassdoor, but it's useless. They haven't mentioned it, whatever, and I'm avoiding the question because I don't want them to ask me first and then me have to come up with a reason for why I can't tell them. Whatever. It's very stressful. And so I spent my entire day prepping to negotiate when I jumped on the call with this girl, and all we did was have a conversation. She asked me 2 interview questions. The first one being, tell me about yourself, and the second one,
what's your biggest weakness?
You know what? I thought that's what she was going to ask. I practiced all day what my biggest weakness was going to be, and it was going to be my confidence. It was going to be, I struggle with having confidence enough to speak up during a meeting. I had it all prepared. Now, we only had a 30-minute interview time slot, and I don't know. I mean, she said she really liked me, and she was like, yeah, I'd absolutely, I'm pushing you on to the next round. I guess there's 3 rounds of this interview, so I have to get set up with the second one, but
3 rounds and then a physical challenge.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I'll be like, I'll plan an event for you on the fly. I don't know. So it was just mostly a conversation, which I think is the best types of interviews. I feel like that's the only way you actually get someone's true personality.
Where it's not like an interrogation.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think about Haley and how you guys were there when she was talking about her job interview and the guy was intentionally intimidating her. Yeah, and she was like, yeah, they told me ahead of time, he's doing that on purpose. And I don't know. I don't think that's...
Yeah, it seems like a weird approach.
Yeah, it's just I get weeding out the quote-unquote weak ones, but also... I don't know.
I guess it is a sales position too, though.
Yeah, it's sales, and it's probably more science-based than it is creative. So that could be the difference. So, yeah. Well, we'll have to follow along and see how that goes. But overall, it's been going well. I'm quite I'm just stressing about nothing because now I'm like, okay, this next interview is going to be the negotiation. So, is what it is. That's a good learning moment as a 24-year-old. It doesn't get easier to negotiate salaries.
Well, you haven't had to practice.
No,
that
I still
much.
haven't even had. Yeah. My first job out of college, I was told my wage, and I was like, okay. And then.
Oh, you didn't even negotiate that?
No. There was a lot of issues there too, because I was an independent contractor for one. So as an independent contractor, I actually should have been naming my price, not being told my price, but you don't know. You learn these things, you learn them as you go. Whatever. It is what it is. But anyway, on a lighter note, even though that wasn't that heavy, on a lighter note, like I said, I'll be turning 25 next week, actually a week from today. Happy early birthday, Madison. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. I am hosting Winter House West. It is based on one of my all-time favorite shows, Summer House.
Very high quality TV.
Yeah, you can take the what am I trying to say? You can take the reality out of the girl, but you can take the reality TV. You can, I don't know. I was trying to do that. I don't know that analogy, but basically what I'm trying to say is I got hooked on reality TV when I was probably 12 years old, and I just haven't turned back since. It was the type of TV that I watched when my parents were not always gone, but like when they were gone. I had Comcast On Demand. I binge watched every Millionaire Matchmaker episode, every True Life on MTV, every anything you could imagine. 16 and Pregnant, Teen Mom. I watched all of it, and that is why I am not a teen parent.
That's the one reason.
Yeah, that's the sole reason. Yeah, the quote unquote goal of the show, it reached me. It worked.
If I hadn't watched it, I'd probably have 3 kids by now.
It's just bound to happen. But yeah, so based on my favorite show, Summer House, I mean, you guys have seen it a couple times. You don't see it's an acquired taste. I love it.
I imagine.
I love it.
The Bachelor as well, I've been recently introduced to, and I keep getting told these are not good seasons, but
I don't know. I think this season's pretty good, but we haven't been doing a lot of watching of the season. I get caught up in talking and recapping my weeks. But see, I don't have to do that anymore because I have it right here for me.
Exactly.
I'll just have to push it back a day. So I think I can wait. But it's based upon Summer House. We will be renting a house in Flagstaff for the weekend. I've been going grocery shopping like a madman. Me and Chris tackled Costco on Sunday, which I hated. I hate going to Costco on a Sunday.
On a weekend, yeah.
Yeah, on a Sunday morning before all the football games. Chris is like, we have to go now. I'm like, do we? I prefer going on usually I go on a Wednesday morning at like 8:30. Me and the blue hairs. Yeah. We like shopping together. That's how I do my best work.
Exclusively old people.
Yeah. Yep. But then, I conquered Safeway today. That was interesting because it's Tuesday night. I bought 2 of those party packs of Fireball. So 40 Fireball shooters. One of those White Claw Surges, which I didn't know. Have you had them?
I've had them, yeah. I like them.
I didn't know it was called a Surge because it's 8% alcohol instead of 5. Yeah. Do you find a difference?
Oh, you'll definitely get drunker quicker.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
100%.
Yeah, okay. So I got a pack of those. I got some Kahlua for the espresso martinis. And then, what was the other alcohol I grabbed? Oh, an extra pack of just normal White Claws. So I think we're set. And I got a lot of judgy looks while I was in the store because it was all beer, or it was all seltzers and liquor, and then a big bag of like the Mexican cheese for the tacos, like the family size
like, so
jumbo
what? This is
pack.
how I sustain myself.
Well, yeah, but then 2 of everything. I had 2 salsas, 2 quesos, 2 sour creams to mustard, mayo. Like, it looks stupid. So then I go to check out, and I brought one reusable bag. I don't know.
Oh my God.
I was trying to save the environment. And
Terrible person.
Yeah. It didn't work out. Well, yeah. I only brought one, and that was stupid. But I was trying, and then I pulled it out, and I went to give it to the bag girl, and then the cashier was like, oh, she can't use those. I was like, I can't use them? She's like, no, the bag girl, for whatever reason, wasn't allowed to use.
She's had a previous incident with reusable bags?
I guess so. So here I am trying to save. Thing? Yeah, maybe. I thought we were over it, at least in Arizona. I don't know.
I don't think we're over it.
I don't know.
I think the people are over it. I don't think we're...
No, I mean, I'm talking as if I didn't have COVID 3 weeks ago. But
yeah.
Yeah, we're over, and my dad has it right now.
Wait, really?
Yeah, my dad retired from his job. Side note, my dad retired after 25 years last Friday, and his gift was COVID. He has COVID right now. He's feeling okay, so we can joke about it, but yeah. No, COVID's not over. But for whatever reason, couldn't use the grocery bag, and so that just like went out the window. So then I left with 5,000 plastic bags, and the woman, I mean, bless her heart, I guess. I just thought it was funny because obviously I'm buying all this alcohol. So, and it's Tuesday night, and she's like, oh, do you need ice? And I was like, oh, I felt awkward. So then my face got super bright red because I was just embarrassed. I was like, oh my God, she thinks she thought I was like drinking it all tonight. I'm like, I just looked at her. I was like, oh my God, no. I was like, no, this is for the weekend. Like, I got immediately like defensive and stressed of like, oh my God, she really thinks like this is what I'm drinking. She's like,
I'll be back tomorrow for the same.
Yeah, she's like, oh, it's for the weekend. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not drinking this tonight. I was like, it's for a birthday party. And she's like, oh, whose birthday? I was like, oh, my friend's. I didn't want to own up to it being my birthday either. So I was just stressed, and I mean, she ended up being really nice. She was laughing. She was like, there's no judgment here. I was like, I mean, I would have been judging someone asking me for ice. I'm like, no, I'm okay. I was like, no, I have to get that up for the weekend. I'm like, this was my only night to go shopping. I work a job at a golf course. Very serious work. But yeah, so that was just a little bit awkward. I knew I shouldn't have gone shopping by myself, but it was the only night I was able to do it. But I got it out of the way, and then I went into the parking lot and reorganized all the groceries, as I do every single time, because I hate the plastic bags.
You reorganize the groceries? Like you take them out and then put them into other plastic bags?
Well, I tried to get rid of the majority of the plastic bags, so then I took my reusable bag and organized it and set it. You were doing good. That was a good streak for Winslow. I give you credit. But yeah. Yeah, so I reorganized them because, well, I just hate, again, that's just a tangent. I hate how grocery stores bag groceries. She put my one bottle of Kahlua in a bag. Well, I guess alcohol makes sense, but then she put the dried goods with the frozen goods, and
what a jerk.
Yeah, it was, how rude. But no, so I reorganized them, so that was just a little bit awkward. Well, I mean, this is a side note. Oh my gosh, I should have scratched this story and just told you guys what happened at the golf course and the crazy man. So I came to work on Monday, and there was a nothing short pretty much of a wanted poster at our clock-in thing. It didn't say wanted, but it definitely said, if you see this man, call the cops immediately. The cops. Yeah. And I'm like looking at the photo. I don't know where they pulled this photo from. Dude is just in his living room kitchen with the deuces thrown up and like with a bunch of beer cans in the back. So I was like, I mean, he's like our age and he's tall. Like, he looked very normal. I didn't think there was anything wrong with him, but apparently he's like a psycho. And he worked security at the neighboring community.
Oh, okay. I was like, how do they even know about this?
Yeah, so I guess he worked security at the neighboring community, and he got fired or quit. I don't know, but he's like scorned in some ways. Yeah, he's a disgruntled employee. And he has taken it up, and no one has said anything. So I was like, oh, it's just like a guy. I think of that story Kelly told about the guy at her golf course who got fired. And
oh, yeah, and like threatened to come back and shoot people and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought it was something along those lines, but no one was saying anything. So I was like, okay, whatever. And then at work yesterday, I'm starting to clock out, and there's a cop car at valet. And I was like, what the heck? So I go downstairs and I ask our sommelier, because he's always got the inside scoop. I was like, hey, why is there a cop car here? He's like, oh man, the cops are still here? I was like, why were they here? And he's like, oh, this is the second day in a row. He's like, that guy we have that guy from
the wanted posters.
Yeah, the ex-security guard. He keeps calling. Every day he picks a different employee at the course that he didn't even work at. He picks and calls and harasses them and like leaves these like insane voicemails of just like saying the most crass things. Like and he doesn't know these people.
Yeah.
He's going through online, because the sommelier, he's like, I don't even have social media. I don't have Facebook. I don't have Instagram. He's like, the only way this guy would have gotten my name and my work phone number is that he is just going through the directory and just picking people to pick on. He called concierge 100 times yesterday, and he's just saying like crazy I mean, I guess kind of similar to Kelly's scenario, that he's just, I mean, I don't know. Well, it's not like this is monetized, but he's just saying like, oh, like, you think you're so awesome when all you're doing is like sitting on the couch watching TV, like wanking it, playing video games like you effing loser, like all that. And it's just like, what? I'm like, is that what you're doing? And you're just like projecting onto the sommelier? I have no idea. Like, he's like looking for like drug deals, and I guess he's threatening our GM, saying like, you need to tell me that, you let him know I'm looking for him and all this stuff. I literally
no relation to this course.
No relation to this course, other than the fact that he's like neighboring. So I'm like, I have no idea.
He just forgot where he worked. He's picking the wrong
course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it very well could be. I don't know. So that happened yesterday. That's more wild. Those are the things I live for. I hate to say it, but you know, things are so boring at that course that the second something like that happens, I'm all over it. I'm like, tell me everything.
Has he gotten your number yet?
No, and I thought about that. I'm like, it's only a matter of time. We have phones in the comfort stations. He can 100% call that and just start going cray. So it's only a matter of time that he finds that, because he called the HR lady, he's called the GM, he's called the sommelier, a couple other food and bev people, the concierge 100 times. I can only imagine what he's saying. It's only women that work concierge too.
Yeah.
So yeah,
crazy.
I mean, wild. So yeah, I don't know what the life lesson is in there, but
yeah, don't work at a golf course. That's my suggestion.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything wrong happens at the golf course. Kelly's story. I'll have to get Kelly over here and tell that story.
Oh, yeah.
I've never laughed so hard.
Crazy.
Wild story.
She didn't even think it was that funny, but I had tears down my face. I thought it was so funny. But yeah. At this point we should probably end the podcast.
Wrap it up.
I told a whole story that wasn't supposed to be on here, but that's okay. But anyway, like I said, this podcast, we don't know what direction it's going in, so just hang on tight. Come grow up with me. Come listen to what I have going on in life, and I'll catch you guys next week. Thanks for listening.
You can find us on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications.